Hello and welcome, friends, cats, crittens alike. I'm Ben, also known as MetaMongoose, over on the Crit Cats Discord, and tonight I'm here to run a game of D&D for my friends. As mentioned previously, this is the adventure Owlbear Run, a published adventure from issue 213 of Dungeon Magazine that was published back in April of 2013. We have done a little bit of work to it, moved it forward a couple of editions here to fifth, move some stuff around, and now we're going to run through it and see what it's like in the more modern era. My players for the adventure are Sasha playing the Silver Dragonborn Paladin Thrakrin, Nick playing the Eladrin Ranger Elrovis. There's too many L's all lined up there, Nick. Lynn playing the Copper Dragonborn Warlock Vinkathrogrin, and John playing the Eladrin Monk Dersim. When last we left our adventuring group, they had recently explored a dungeon, acquired some treasure, had wandered toward the nearest town to sell it, found that nearest town happened to be having a festival put on by the local duke, and all of his noble court was in attendance. A couple of wizard brothers were running a event whereby they had acquired some owlbears and were farming them out to teams to race them from one town across the mountain to another town. There was glory, riches, all that fun stuff, kind of promise to the winner, as well as, fun job opportunities and sponsorships from various nobles. I believe my party members decided, after getting their amulet identified, to go check out some owlbears and some nobles to see what they could wrangle up, and got themselves hooked up with an owlbear named Kitten, run by or owned by the sheriff of town, Lord Burl. Uh, After that, it was a simple matter of, matching the other owlbears to the other teams, getting a starting line going, and setting them off to race. At the onset, it looked like the Fey Band, run by the Eladrin Linnell, had taken the lead. Our party, the team Twigs and Tails, I believe we named you, hot on their heels. Um, Gremble's Stormhammers, a dwarven-led team, in third, and then Brandoc's Brute Squad, having half filled their owlbear with about half of their members, coming in fourth at this exact moment. So I will bring us to the map that has our current positions, as everyone has left town on their various respective roads, following the routes that they had previously chosen. We're about, I think, a little over 2 miles out of town at this point in the adventure. You've kind of got a thing going where you had started off, kind of luring your owlbear kitten forward with an illusion of food and just, nice words and gentle tugs of the rope to kind of keep her from wandering too far off the road. But this is where we are currently on the path out of town. So from here, as you are kind of traveling this particular stretch of trail, your hungry owlbear, at this point, Vin, your illusion has long since worn out. This has been probably, it's a good 2 miles of travel. You're moving at the speed of an owlbear on a leash that doesn't really want to be on a leash. So it's not, we've been traveling for a bit, and your illusion has kind of come to a close. But as you're traveling, your owlbear is meandering kind of towards a sparse berry thicket that's kind of growing alongside the trail. And Throggrin, as you trying to steer the owlbear kind of back on course, uh, you can see ahead of you the former group, Linnell's Fey Band, just not very far from where you guys currently are. I'll pull you into that map here. But as you kind of lock that they're up ahead of you, and your owlbear is here by this berry patch that it's much more interested in than concurrently continuing along the trail, a wave of dizziness kind of passes over all of you, and there's kind of like a pressure change in your vicinity, and the trail ahead of you kind of dissolves, as does all of the competitors in front of you, and in their place, and the trail ahead of you completely disappears as well. A thick natural forest kind of comes into being, and your trail that you were following spontaneously materializes about a few hundred feet away from you, turning in a different direction from where it was originally pointing. And this is kind of where you find yourselves at the moment. Previously in a trail and now in a much more heavily wooded area, with the previous team currently no longer in view.
Anyone else feel dizzy?
Yeah, I still feel a little woozy from just like a few minutes ago. I don't know what happened there. Thought the trailer was going a different way even.
Do all of us kind of lose sight of them? Like we all
Yes.
notice this? Okay.
Yes, you all notice that like in the weird wavy transition from trail to forest, you have lost sight of the entire Fey band ahead of you.
Yeah. Kirsten's probably just gonna like curse a bit and some I'm guessing Sylvan, before we're just going goddamn Fey wild magic. Just what we need on this, but I should have expected it. God, how do we even get around this crap?
My experience has been you go through it. At which point I'm looking around to see if I can find traces of their of which way the team that was in front of us went.
Make for me a survival roll.
Would I be able to assist him?
Uh,
I hope so.
Well, maybe. What are you doing to assist him?
I'm trying to, because I actively did not spec myself into magic or survival. Let me think. What am I good at? Oh no, I did spec myself into survival. I'm gonna be like specifically looking around, trying to find any sort of weirdness with the underbrush, trying to find any kind of tracks, anything that would look a bit too off for what I would guess would be like normal forestry.
Okay. Make either a survival or a perception roll.
Okay. They're the same amount, so I'll just do survival. 15 to whatever his 7 was.
This is definitely an illusory forest that has sprung up. It wasn't an illusory path before and is now a forest. You notice this because your owlbear is sticking its head partially through a tree trunk and coming back with like little berries. It doesn't seem concerned about the tree trunk that it is sticking its head halfway through at the moment. But the problem is you specifically, like as you're looking around on the ground or anything that looks out of place, the illusion is completely covering the ground. So any normal tracks or normal traces that you would have seen before seem to have been completely swallowed up by this illusion.
Mm-hmm.
Which is probably why Elrovis is having such a hard time.
Mm-hmm.
Because like there is literally nothing to see that isn't altered in some magical way.
Yeah. And I'd obviously relay this information as I'm discovering it. Was real quick, was this whole like river, was that part of the scene that we were currently at? Or creek? I'm not sure how deep it was.
It is a like maybe shin deep stream, okay. And you think there was a bridge that was crossing it that has been replaced by a downed tree.
Gotcha. About how well did we understand, like, see the path ahead of us that is now not a path?
Make for me a survival roll.
Okay. That's a bit better.
You think that you might be able, assuming that the magics are not also designed to specifically turn you around, you think that you can maybe trace the steps of where you think the path used to be.
Okay.
But that will lead you closer to where you thought Linnell's Fey Band was, and they may yet still be there. You're not sure.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to pose that to the party, saying, I think I could potentially get us going that direction, to keep us kind of on the path that we were headed. But at the same time, that is a potential risk of running directly into another competitor. And obviously this one's going to be more than a bit frustrating to deal with, but they can only expend so much resources on us.
Thrakran, what do you got going on? You've got a owlbear by a pretty hefty rope leash. Currently, it seems more interested in sticking half its head through a tree and coming back with like reddish colored berries than doing much of anything else at the moment.
Well, she's just sticking her head through, so I'm going to actually follow her, and I'm going to try to actually gather branches that have berries on them to see if that will help lead her. Since she's obviously hungry, we can also save them for later. He's going to get as much as he can and make a bouquet of little twigs or branches that have those berries on them.
All right. Make me a nature roll.
Awesome.
As you're trying to
totally
be able to harvest berries without actually being able to see them. You're just kind of blindly wandering into a thicket that you can't see.
I did okay. 13.
So you all see Thrakran just start grabbing the air around a tree and just pulling out and coming back with armfuls of broken branches with bits of berry dropping off of them as they go.
He's trying to make sure that he doesn't drop them, but salvage the ones on the ground.
Real quick, because I wasn't sure from last session, do we have a cart attached to this owlbear, or is it?
You have no cart. It is basically a harness and a rope.
Okay.
But yeah,
previously, last session, you had manifested the illusion of a food cart in front of the owlbear that you were using to lure the owlbear forward.
Yeah, it's more a comment from the landing. The landing has like this big cart, and like that put an assumption in my head that does not exist.
Does not currently exist. No.
And I'm
And
not gonna lie, I don't have the magic to make a cart.
he he just like has like these whole armfuls, so he's like behind a bunch of branches, and he's just like, "Hey, we could try to make a thing that carries it over her head to make her move." And he's like trying to like go around it, like
I
to
like
look at you
how
guys.
I heard your hey, and I'm like, oh, hey, I got some berries over here. Was all I heard in my head.
Yeah.
You're like, "Hey, do you think it'll it'll be able to like you think it'll make it where we can kind of ease her along?"
I suspect she'll just
Important question, Thrakran. Uh, now that you're like two-handing these bushels of berries, who's holding onto the owlbear rope?
He is.
Okay.
He was following her. Like the whole point was like it's still attached to him, but he's grabbing him and she's sitting there eating, so he's like that's what he's doing. He still is
So-
holding on to her.
So is the rope tied to you at the moment?
I figured it had some kind of like he made some kind of loop that's attached to his wrist.
Okay.
All right.
Like he wouldn't just let it go.
This is how we dislocate a dragonborn shoulder.
I never said he was a bright dragonborn.
No one did.
Speaking of dragonborn, Vin, this is all going on.
Vin isn't quite sure what to do. Probably trying to retrace the path that used to exist, and potentially finding that like bridge that's like now a felled tree.
Okay. So you're just gonna basically walk over there and kind of like touch your way toward a tree.
Yes, exactly.
The tree itself to you feels very real. Like you don't pass through it.
And is this like the felled tree that you mentioned, or is
Yes.
it like okay? Am I placing like my hands like just like on the ground, like near it, or is it?
I mean, that's up to you. Where are you placing your hands?
I guess yeah. I'll just like kind of place my hands like on the tree, like over the river.
Yeah. As far as you're concerned, this is a real tree.
Okay. Well, then we'll probably then like try to start walking that way, like over, like over the tree.
Okay. Make for me a perception check as you are kind of working your way across the tree.
Okay. I got an 18.
You hear ahead of you and you can't really place exactly where because it's kind of weirdly echoing through the tree line ahead of you. The sound of a malcontent owlbear.
Interesting.
That's like it's kind of distorted almost. Like the sound is ahead of you, but it's being distorted by the magic as it's coming your way. And you also hear, almost as a breeze kind of passes by you as you're walking over the broken tree, a soft voice that goes, "This illusion is quite clever. Is this your doing, sorcerer?"
Interesting. Well, that does no. That does that checks off one potential culprit for the illusion. Then she'll keep walking forward, but like a little bit quieter, trying to not make any sound while walking across the tree bridge.
Okay.
just to hopefully like listen in a little bit more on for the voice that she can hear.
All right. All right. How about the rest of you? Elrovis, you've determined that you cannot figure out any tracking here. Really, there's just too much illusion magic at work. It looks like Vin's crossing the downed tree at the moment, and Thrakran's got a big armful of berry branches.
Well, while I've been looking, have I been able to find like actual physical like twigs or rocks or anything?
Most of the stuff that you like reach down and pick up seems to come back up as real. Now you're not sure if
Okay.
that's because it was always real or if like the illusion is kind of melting as you interact with things, and so those things are real as you interact with them. Magic's weird.
It really is. I'm just gonna kind of look back to Thakran as he's suggesting, tying it onto Kitten so we can lead her with that. Won't you just follow whichever direction she's facing?
That was the way that it worked
And
when
then,
you guys had an illusion spell ahead of her.
and I'm going to listen carefully as I kind of chuck one of the rocks out towards where I thought there. Do I still see that creek stream thing in front of us?
It's still there.
Okay.
And
Just gonna check.
you hear a splash. It is
Okay.
kind of slightly distorted though. It doesn't quite splash the way you expected it to.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to keep investigating a little bit more, trying to see if I can determine a nice, safe way for us to go through. Vin is.
Currently over
Did
there.
I happen to?
Yeah.
Can I see Vin on the tree?
Oh yeah.
See. Well, might as well look at the tree to see if it's sturdy enough for an owlbear. Tree, bridge, whatever this is.
Seems pretty solid. Like you knock it and it's solid wood.
Well, I'd say let's see if we can get Kitten to come across the river.
I'm on it.
And how are you on it?
Is she eating at the moment, like this very moment?
Oh yeah.
Is she gonna try to get more? Because that's when he's gonna wait for her to like get her attention.
So you're gonna like what is your plan of action?
Okay. So let's say that the owlbear is like sitting down eating berries and like facing where she can see the bush. He's gonna be kind of on the side, waits for her to be done so she will go get more, and then he's actually gonna go in front with the berries in front of her and lead her that direction.
Okay, so like
It's-
when
it's
she
a
goes in
timing.
for another bite, you're just gonna stick
Yeah.
your branch in
Yeah.
front and be
Yeah.
like, "Come on, Owlbear."
That's pretty much what it is. It's a way of catching her attention to focus on what's moving rather than the bush in front.
Okay. Make for me an animal handling roll.
I mean, sure. Hey, not bad.
That's 13.
13.
That's not terrible.
We're gonna go slow and steady.
It is definitely slow going. Probably slower going than you would like it to be, but you are making progress, getting her to follow you. One step at a time. Mostly one bite at a time. Honestly, is what's happening. Like she'll bite some and then stop to start chewing a little bit, and then when she goes for the next bite, that's when you back up like just a little bit, and she moves forward just a little bit more. It's not fast, is what I'm saying. Like it's very
I know.
slow.
It is very, very slow. And that's okay. He's willing to take his time on this thing because he knows that it's going to be slow to like agitate her to keep going. Like, we got this.
Yeah. Dersim, what do you got going on?
Well, he did kind of pose to the party, hey, so I think I could probably figure out the way that we were originally going to. Do we want to keep trying to go that way, or do we want to risk going on this other path? And Hazi's probably saying that he's gonna like slowly cross the what he thought at least was the Shinji water, just not about to wait for the owlbear to fully cross.
Okay. Make for me a dexterity saving throw as you're trying to cross where it's hard to put your feet where you don't think rocks are actually at and stuff in the water. But you are a mighty monk, and dexterity means like nothing to you. So you immediately you can very easily cross with no issues. The various slippery rocks that you cannot see do not bother you even a little bit. You can make it across this river, no problem.
So, what does everyone think? Is he's gonna like kind of call that out from the other side?
Well, I mean, he can lure her there. It's just going to take a while.
That's it. So that's I'd say unless someone has a way of breaking this illusion, that's the best thing we've got, I think.
Yeah, if you can figure out where the path originally was, I would much prefer to not go on the illusionary path. Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, with that, he's probably gonna move a bit ahead, probably like, try and find the best way path forward towards the direction that he thought the path was on.
All right. I will here just stop right about there for a moment. Vin, what do you got going on?
I'm gonna continue crossing the bridge in hopes that I can meet up with Dersim.
All right. Carefully crossing the tree without like running or anything. You can make it across the tree cautiously and not trip over the fact that it might be a bridge and not a tree. Because it's level ground that is kind of like wooden slat. It's not, there's no slippery rocks or anything for you to trip on, but there might be some steps on the other end you didn't account for. But if you go really quietly and slowly about it, you can get across pretty easily.
All right.
Other than that, is there anything in particular you are interested in doing?
Can I still hear out for the voices I heard earlier?
Yes. A perception check. You hear nothing.
Fair enough.
You seem to have the soft voice in the wind that was chatting with you did not continue that conversation, and you no longer hear the opposing owlbear.
Okay, fair enough. I'll just keep trying to make my way to Dersim.
All right, you can make it about there.
Fair enough.
Elrovis, what are you doing?
I'm hanging.
I'm very tentatively getting this owlbear to go like one step at a time.
Which direction am I going? He's like, we've got time. Literally, which way?
Well, across the tree and towards our friends. I'm hanging back at the rear just in case something weird happens.
All right, so he'll He'll slowly get the owlbear there. So I don't know how long that will take.
You get about to where you are now.
Okay.
When Elrovis, you hear a like a soft chiming noise behind you. And as you probably turn to see what that's all about, there is a slightly translucent fey-like creature with a inner glow, kind of hovering over this berry patch. And as it makes its chiming noise, the berries kind of bulge in size, and a soft, sweet smell kind of wafts from the flap of its wings toward your owlbear. Kitten notices.
I mean, I have a feeling.
Well, that was
my
something I could
character's
have
going to
reacted
notice.
to.
And what would you like to do?
Well, if I could catch it before the breeze began, but would I be
Oh yeah,
able to?
definitely. Like you know it's coming.
I don't like burning it this quickly, but I think this calls for a gust of wind.
Okay, that's fair.
And
That will make the controlling kitten roll that Thrakran's going to have to do here soon much easier.
Yeah, so I will go ahead and cast that and send
I
it
was gonna wrestle
off
the owlbear.
that direction, back from whence it came.
Okay. You cast a gust of wind back the other direction, do you?
Actually, wait a minute. Yeah.
All right. As you do that, the fey creature kind of gets blown back into the bushes, and you lose sight of it.
Blackburn better make it quick.
I'm
like
trying.
I said, when you heard the tinkling noise, that kind of drew the attention of Kitten, who is starting to kind of turn that direction. But Thrakun, you can kind of try to muscle this owlbear back into crossing the bridge and maybe not noticing the brand new feast of berries.
He's trying to use the berries as a way to put back in her face to be like, no. See, right here. You got it right here. Right in front of you.
I'm going to need a strength athletics check to get this owlbear to kind of correct this owlbear.
Thank you.
That's a very nice roll.
Thank you, dice. I appreciate it. I was expecting another 4.
No, you look at these berries. Not those berries. These berries.
These ones. These ones are the better
ones. Tap the owlbear on the head. No, these berries.
Not even in a mean way.
No, yeah.
He'd just be like, pat her on the head, be like, no. These berries, these are better ones. It's like, ugh.
Kitten kind of like coos and trills, and kind of pushes you forward as she tries to get at the berries that you're offering to her.
Yep. We gotta go.
She's in fact a little overexcited, and I need you to make a dex save as you kind of cross the river. As she kind of pushes you maybe a little too hard.
Oh, paladins and dex saves.
Yeah, there we go. Yay! I got 12.
Good news. You did not fall over the what isn't a railing, because it's obviously a tree. It doesn't have a railing. But you catch yourself on a branch that, under your weight, kind of feels like a bridge railing.
He'll point that out. Be like, that felt like a bridge railing.
But yeah, you manage to right yourself and pull, or more accurately, Kitten kind of pulls you off the bridge.
Yeah. Yeah, yep. And when we cross, he kind of he waits. He goes, okay. He's gonna look around to see if there are maybe more berries around here.
There are a couple of well, you can't tell if the berries you see are fake or not.
He's gonna try.
Okay.
So he's gonna. I'm assuming it's directly. He's gonna turn around
Yeah.
and then
So you're gonna
lead
start
her
trying
over
to pull
here.
her over here. She
Yeah.
gets about this far and then seems to want to go this direction instead.
All right. He'll he'll let it happen.
Would I be able to cross the tree now?
Yes.
Okay.
It is, having seen it done. It is no problem for you to get across this bridge.
Okay.
Though, as you are crossing the bridge, a soft kind of like gust of wind kind of like passes by you, and you hear in Linnell's voice, "That was very clever. I appreciate your work. I look forward to later meeting you further down the trail."
Hopefully in a friendly way after we're done, I'll reply in Sylvan.
And
Um, but but yeah, now Kitten is about, face deep in a a strange kind of like fern thicket. But every bite that she comes in with, she comes out with just more berries that you don't see growing on the ferns.
Thogrin is like also gonna like try to dig for berries, to put in his pockets and to, well, I guess pockets, like whatever kind of like
Your bag.
bag,
Pouches,
yeah,
bags, what have
yeah,
you.
whatever he had to like try to put berries in there, and he'd
Just
be like,
handfuls of berries, sticks and all, just
and he'd just be like, look, I know that the water is probably fake, but I wonder if like maybe we could catch fish or something too eventually, and maybe help
Dersim, the
lure
water
her.
is real. You definitely have wet feet.
Yeah. I'm fully aware of that. I'm also gonna just kind of be quiet because I don't want to waste time catching fish right now. Because
Well,
I'm
I
kind of
didn't mean
going.
right now. I
Just,
just meant eventually.
well, I know. It's just like you were also like, we got plenty of time, and I'm like, aren't we doing a race right now? No, we don't.
No, no, he said plenty of time as in to change directions where she was gonna go. That's because it was really slow. That's why he's like, we got plenty of time. But
Yeah,
tell
I
me
know,
which
but I'm just
direction.
like, at this point, what he overheard from decently far away. He's like, no, move on.
And the same thing as before.
Okay.
To
If
lure
that
her.
is your move the dragon, or move the
Move the
yeah,
dragonborn.
move the dragonborn, yeah, move the dragonborn and owlbear strategy, then it is possible to lure her basically one bite at a time, but that is very slow going.
It is. But that's why I'm like trying to figure out a way if we can get it cleared out where she doesn't see anymore. If we can get some kind of mechanism where it dangles the berries in front of her where she
You'll
can't
have to
exactly
describe to
reach
me
them.
how you're constructing that kind of a
I
mechanism.
all
Like
I can
some
think of is like a very long branch with like a string on it that just has like some berries on there and it just keeps it in front of her view so she just
Okay,
keeps walking towards it.
so you're gonna try to source a very long branch.
That's the only suggestion he has.
Okay. Are you sourcing that branch, or are you having someone else source that branch? Because you can only get 10 feet away from the owlbear.
He could. It'll just take a little bit, and he's suggesting to the party like what to do because he doesn't want to solely rely on magic to keep luring her around. So he's asking the rest of the party that idea.
So we need a giant stick.
Who's got that 10-foot pole? It's always useful. That being said, I'm busy.
Who has a
trying
10-foot pole?
Yeah. That being said, I'm busy trying to determine our path. So
I apparently have lost the 10-foot pole. Probably in that last dungeon.
Well, there's a big tree. It's got a branch.
Right. I'll look to see if I can find. I'll look to see if I can find a branch that seems not attached to a tree. I'd like to not, damage a living tree if possible.
Well, the tree laying across the river is definitely either dead or not a tree.
don't worry, I promise it's not a railing to a bridge. Fine.
Destroys bridge to make stick.
That's what bridges are made of. Just a bunch of sticks.
Exactly.
If I see a small branch, I'll kind of just
Sticks
put my
tied
hand on it and kind of feel along.
It feels wooden and kind of barky.
How about
How does it bite?
Well, I don't know.
We'll find out.
But I'm trying to feel. How does it feel like as I, move my hands along it? Does it get thinner down the line? Does it feel? Is it straight?
It's
like
relatively
perfectly
straight. I mean, straight enough.
Does it start to get smaller as I move one direction or the other?
Like towards like the tip of the branch.
Yes.
Sure.
How naturally smaller or?
As opposed to unnaturally smaller.
Well, as opposed to carved smaller. And a slow taper.
At this exact moment, you cannot tell the difference because illusions are weird. Unless you would like to make me some kind of wisdom saving throw.
I'll attempt that. Once I remember where those are. There it is.
You can't tell the difference.
Well, if I think this will be a good spot, I will try to see if I can snap it at the appropriate area.
It's a thicker branch. You may have to use like your hatchet or something on it, but you can snap it off. It's not a problem for a ranger.
Okay, and then I will hand it over to. I'll attach rope to one end of. I'll firmly attach rope around one end, like a couple different loops, knots, and then kind of leaving a bit down for attaching more berries.
Mm-hmm. And again, as a ranger, rope knots and stuff, super simple for you. This isn't anything you've done thousands of times.
Thakran only knows how to tie
when
on
you
his
do
armor.
hand over the branch to Thakran, it is in fact the pole railing of the bridge that has been broken off. It's about 6 feet, maybe 6.5 of broken railing.
Someone else shows up. What happened to this railing?
Nothing.
Dude,
Monster.
Things happen in the woods all the time. I mean, come on.
Wizards are already gonna fix this later. It's fine.
Who could say?
We'll get rid of this before the finish line.
That's fantastic. Oh yeah, we'll get rid of it. Just throw it, kind of just like.
Hey, everything
just tuck it under.
Do you let me know that it's the?
No. You as you hand it over, you see that it is the railing.
Oh, I see it. Oh,
yeah. The illusion is no longer affecting that piece of thing in your hand.
Well, you know what? Everything exists in nature to be used. No harm, no foul. Let's go.
Nothing like a good amount of property damage to start a race.
It's for the greater good. It really is.
It's recycle, reduce, reuse.
I'm just overhearing nonsense going, God, what am I going to have to cover for now?
Property damage. No big deal.
Well, we've broken worse. I'm
Mending,
sure of it.
mending,
I
mending.
know you have. I don't want to revisit that conversation.
Let's not talk about what I've broken, okay?
I mean, but you know, is this kind of what you're hoping for?
I mean, we can just see if it works.
Here's hoping.
Theoretically.
Don't know how we're going to attach it to her.
I mean, she's wearing kind of like a full like back chest harness that your
Okay.
rope is attached to
Okay.
by like a little like metal clip, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I thought you were.
That's what he will, I guess, suggest. To attach it to that. He doesn't do the tie knots thing. He only knows how to put
Yeah.
his armor on. He
May-
knows how to tie
Actu-
his shoes.
No, this comes back to what I was saying earlier. Just having it hover there in front of her, she's just going to go whichever way she looks. If you're holding that, though, you might be able to actually guide her with it.
Fair.
So rope in one hand, pole of food in the other hand, just kind of walking down the way.
And if for self-defense, just put the berries on someone's face. It'll be fine.
We've created an Owlbear Lancer class that just ride the Owlbear. Bait on the end.
Go, kitten! I use charge!
Vin might suggest holding the branch herself, just so Thokran has an extra
right back.
hand.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good idea.
Oh no!
I
He turned off his
appreciate it.
camera.
Oh no!
Break
Okay, cool. It didn't break anything.
I know.
I was afraid that it does. That's why I never do it.
It's fine. It'll fix itself eventually. But anyway, so Vin, you're going to hold the pole with the food on the end of it to kind of lure Kitten along, while Thrakran kind of guides her down the
Yes.
path. Okay, with the two of you going, goes faster.
Yes.
Definitely not a kind of stop and bite kind of situation. You can now kind of lure her along a little bit easier. It's not just like a step and then a wait and then a step and then a wait. I'll just move you guys over here.
Oh, that works. But he's still gonna like praise. He'll praise Kitten. Talk to her, telling her she's doing a good job.
She kind of coos and trills back at you.
Yay! I'm making friends with an Owlbear.
Derseem, you're pretty sure that your route, once you get to this end, heads to the north.
All right. I'm gonna
Kind of like
try
up
and keep
this way.
guiding us that way. I'm probably gonna be like about, I'm gonna guess, 10, 20 feet ahead of everyone, just so I'm making sure we're going in the right path.
That's fine.
Make sure the owlbear doesn't walk into like a weird hole or something.
When you get over here, Kitten kind of pauses from the eating and kind of lifts her head up to the side and kind of sniffs the air.
What's wrong?
And
Trapped in the well.
makes a little trilling noise, and you can hear very faintly through whatever distortion this illusion is causing, a like growling noise from a responding owlbear.
Which direction and how far away?
See, that's
Would
the
I
problem.
guess?
It's hard to tell because the distortion in the sound is making it's kind of like, imagine what sound would be like if it was ripples on a pond. That are kind of like crashing into each other, like little sound wave ripples crashing into each other all around you. So it's kind of like weirdly echoing in places. So it's hard to pinpoint exactly where it's coming from.
I say we follow their
For all you know, it could be right next to you.
Right. I'm just like, I say we follow Jerseem. He still seems okay.
Yes, let's. We need to go.
How would you like to motivate Kitten forward this last push? Because she's no longer interested in the food at the moment. There's greater importance drawing her attention. A rival.
I mean, he can try and brute strength try to pull her, but.
Come on, let's go, Mr. Paladin. Show us those muscles that you failed to show us last session.
Hey! Don't call me out like that.
Let's see.
Let's see.
Respond to brute strength. Got it.
This,
Okay.
I'm trying to think of what he could do.
I mean, you're perfectly within your rights to just be like, nope, and drag her along. Like you are the strong paladin who is able to do that.
He is trying to make it where he can convince her otherwise, and that's kind of stuck at. So we're just gonna try to do the strength, the brute strength pulling of it's okay. We're leaving. All right, we're leaving.
All right. From you then, I need a strength athletics roll. That's it.
Oh, dice. That was almost a 20. I quit.
You give her like a pull, but it's like pulling a solid stone wall that doesn't go anywhere. And she in fact kind of like bristles at that and kind of pulls a little bit away from you. Not that she can go too far because you've got her on like a 10-foot leash. She kind of pulls away from you a little bit and makes like a chirping noise that kind of echoes through the woods, and is maybe a challenging chirp that is responded to by a growl that again kind of echoes. I guess he's over here somewhere because that's where she seems to be, pulling.
No.
Can't
fight. No.
And if you remember, Linnell's Feyband had Terrible Tharzadoon, the biggest owlbear. Yours is only the second biggest.
Like I'm gonna wrestle an owlbear. He'll actually instead try to look her dead in the face, and he'll try to do what he's done with the other owlbears, which is like intimidate them into listening to him.
All right, make for me an intimidation roll.
Oh, nope.
So what is everyone else doing to maybe prevent owlbear on owlbear violence?
Kitten, you don't need to go there, Kitten. Come on, let's follow their scene. Come on, you need to go this way.
Make for me an animal handling roll. That's a really good. That's a good animal handling roll. An 18 is sufficient to get the job done. You kind of, come up in front of her and kind of get her attention and kind of pull her pull her attention over to where Vin is. Vin, what are you doing to help this along?
Let's see. Could Vin has prestidigitation
Sure.
as a as a
Cantrip.
as a cantrip, yeah. So I was wondering if she could like pick a berry off of the branch and try to like lead her face the other direction with it.
What are you doing with the berry to make it cooler than any other berry?
It's like spinning, flying around, like right in front of her face, kind of making a lot of movement, basically.
Make it shiny.
Make it shiny.
You have that power. It's prestidigitation. You can
I
do all
mean,
kinds
yeah,
of
I can make it. Yeah, I can make it shiny.
gleams like a tasty ruby. That the gleaming berry catches her eye and distracts her long enough for the group of you to kind of usher her out the northern path without coming to some kind of territorial blow with the other owlbear. As you kind of exit the northern path, you kind of get that same wave of dizziness and pressure change, and you find yourselves kind of back on the road. And if you look behind you, you see the path that you had walked on like it was a normal path. You don't see the thick forest anymore. You also don't see Linnell's Fey Band.
Do I see any tracks leading ahead of us that would indicate that they're decently far ahead of us?
Make for me a survival roll. 14.
14.
You do not detect any tracks. They may not have left the area yet. You may be ahead of them.
Okay. I'm gonna go. All right. Well, we got through that. As far as I'm concerned, we're in the lead. Let's get moving quick.
All right. So without further ado, you kind of make it up the trail and continue on your way. Not too much longer, maybe another like 30-ish minutes of kind of moseying down the way. You come to a new space. The morning fog kind of still lingers on this stretch of path, kind of obscuring the surrounding woods in ghostly white gloom. Ahead of you on the trail, you can barely distinguish a a silent silhouette of a mighty helmed figure kind of standing in the middle of the path, leaning on an old rusted axe. A voice kind of rumbles through the fog. You are fools to travel this way. Down this path lies the gates of death. The fog kind of rolls back to reveal a bleached white skull and ribs of a deer half buried in an embankment on the side of the trail. The voice says, "Lay down your sacrifice to the Lord of Death, lest your foggy trail end at his gate."
Well,
Weirdly enough, I'm kind of gonna stare at this. Go. This. I'd like to insight to see if this is just like some stupid trick that the wizards are pulling on.
Arguably, everything on the mountain could be a stupid trick that the wizards are pulling on. But
You're not wrong, but I want to see if this is a stupid trick that we can ignore.
oh, okay. Make an insight roll. This figure seems deathly serious.
Okay.
Whether the wizards knew that he would be here or not, he means what he says.
I assume either he either entirely means it, or either he was put here, or they fully knew he was already here, and they're just laughing their asses off in the background right now.
It's entirely possible on both accounts.
sacrifice.
Well, I don't know about you, but I don't have any goats to sacrifice at the moment.
Which of these paths requires the sacrifice? As I see him standing up.
Any of the four. It seems like this area here has been blocked off. But like over here, there's like a hill with the goat horns or the deer horns and stuff. So who knows? He's blocking both. He's blocking both paths at the moment.
And which path follows the direction we were planning on traveling?
This way.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought was that way too.
Wasn't positive, but I'd rather check.
Right.
What exactly will bring upon this death on us? Your god or you?
As a servant of the Lord of Death, I will meet his justice.
Which Lord
Bring
of Death?
forth your sacrifice, or turn back, never to be seen again.
Which Lord of Death?
The Lord of Death.
Can look over to our paladin.
Which one?
How many Lords of Death are there? I just want to make sure. I don't know religion that well.
I mean, make a religion roll.
That's great.
Or don't.
I'm not proficient in religion, but let's go for it. You know what, Dice? You know what?
So you know, there's your Nurgles, there's your Raven Queens, there's your Lords of various Undeaths, like your Vecnas, your. Just keep going.
Pulls out a little pair of glasses that kind of sits on the bridge.
So.
Not even proficient in it.
No. This seems like a rather weirdly generic death cultist of some kind. He may not be considering like a divine Lord of Death. It may be like, some higher power, like, I don't know, some Fey Lord of Death or some Demon Lord of Death, or who knows.
What equipment does this guy have on him? Anything?
So this guy has a rather tarnished suit of like scale mail, a rusted axe that looks kind of wicked, and is wearing like a hefty cloak, and then he's got kind of like a faceplate mask that looks like a skull.
So he'll kind of over. So kind of sacrifice are you asking for? Just anything?
Show me your sacrifice.
Sweet. Can you be the sacrifice?
I cannot.
Damn it.
I already serve the Lord of Death.
You.
The shot. Like, you tricked me.
I must be the sacrifice.
Yeah. That's what he was hoping for.
I'm gonna look around. Is there like a small rabbit or squirrel or something I can try to catch?
I wish that which is alive, but is alive no longer.
I'm gonna break off one of the branches of the shrubbery next to us.
Okay.
Here you go, and toss it this way.
Technically, it Thokrin, technically it counts.
I mean, it was no better my idea of going, all right, dig through pack.
So you wander over to him with your branch sacrifice?
No, I wander about here and toss it over.
That's fine. So you toss a dead branch on the ground. He looks at it, and like snaps it with his rusted axe, and says, "The Lord of Death does not know this soul. Speak of its life, so that we may sing an elegy of its passing."
This wondrous branch, obviously your Lord of Death isn't Elvish, but this wondrous branch has lived this wonderful life here watching travelers along this path on this mountain, toiling away throughout its days, longing for freedom from this one location, but it could only stay here, trapped in its sorrow. And now that it has passed, it is no longer held by such a heavy burden.
Make a deception roll.
Do I
Hating his life choices that have led up to this moment.
Do I get a bonus for actually not being entirely full of shit?
No, you don't get disadvantage for not bringing him something that
Can
Lived.
lived.
Thok likes telling stories. Can he help just to aid him?
Oh, you may yet have to tell a story. You may want to hold on to that.
Okay.
Come on, roll.
Give it a second. It's working.
thinking. The little gears are turning. The little mice are running. There we go.
Hey.
15. Is he dumb enough to accept a 15?
Is he?
Probably. Or not.
Oh, damn.
Actually, no, I take it back. With his negative, he is dumb enough. All right.
Oh my god, I can't believe this is happening. Actually, what he's saying in person.
The figure, for a moment, you're not sure that it worked. You're like, oh shit, he's gonna stab me right now. He's gonna cut me down with this axe. And then he goes, "The Lord of Death accepts your offering. This soul pleases him. You may pass."
I can't.
We thank you and your Lord of Death gratefully. And come on, let's go, guys.
As you say that and start passing, he's like, "No, you may pass. I require more sacrifices.
How many more?
There are 5 of you. I require 5 sacrifices."
For the owlbear?
I'm gonna look at him real quick and speak something in Sylvan. 5, you say? Really?
He doesn't seem to understand you.
At which point I'm going to turn back to Dirseem, still in Sylvan. He demands a sacrifice from the Owlbear, huh? You think what I'm thinking?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Too bad he didn't look like a bunch of berries.
The owlbear just mauls him.
I'm sorry, I don't do illusions last I checked.
I don't
Yes,
know if I can
obviously
go.
all of this in Sylvan. Like, what are you talking about?
Well, he demands a sacrifice. He demands something from death from the owlbear. I don't know how Kitten's going to do that, nor how do I know how she'll explain it.
I am perfectly okay with just murdering him. Hey,
Well, that's kind of what I'm suggesting.
Nokrid, I think Kitten's got something that she's gonna sacrifice next. Why don't you bring Kitten up to him?
Okay, sure. That sounds like a good idea.
At which point, I'm also going to move over here.
He, again, it's like, all right, kitten, come on. Stop right about.
I'm gonna call out and Sylvan. Why don't you get behind him, ready to shoot him in the back?
Patience, patience. I reply in kind.
You know what? Thokrin's not scared of him, so he'll be.
When you walk up to him, he says, "Yes, mighty warrior. What is your sacrifice?"
I don't know what you guys are talking about in Sylvan, so
Nope.
I have no idea. Thokrin is gonna take out 2 berries. He looks at the warrior, and he's like, "This one cannot speak the same language as you can. I will speak for them. Love that he has no idea. Anyways,
As
He holds out.
as you're getting ready to do that speech, you hear a weird hacking noise behind you. It looks like Kitten's about to cough something up.
he's just gonna casually
A weird
step aside.
this bleh, bleh sound,
Yeah.
and then a capsule, an owl pellet, if you will, reddish in color thanks to the berries that it had been recently eating, but also containing the fur and bones of a horse that they'd been feeding it back in town. Kind of like drops at the figure's feet.
Never mind. She spoke for herself.
He looks at it and goes, "This is a worthy sacrifice. This once living horse sacrificed to the Lord of Death."
I'm not laughing.
The owlbear may pass.
So as I was saying, for my sacrifice, because I'm attached to this one, do I count?
Your sacrifice is required.
Okay.
No. You are required to make a sacrifice.
So, anyways, he has. That's why he said, "I'm kind of attached to her. Do I count with her?" No. So, so as I was saying, 2 berries, kind of holds them in front of
The
him.
Lord of Death already
drops him at his
has
feet.
a plant that has been sacrificed to it.
He hasn't. He's had that, but he hasn't had the fruit of life.
These berries are not dead. They are the seed of life. The antithesis of what the Lord of Death desires.
But you don't understand, these 2 berries are special.
Go on.
Try to see me. Oh my god. As an example of 2 brothers, and he kind of gently puts them by his feet next to the horse pellet and tells a story of about 2 brothers, and hoping, as he starts to tell the story, kind of looks back and then makes more of a way to keep him focused on his story. And the story of 2 brothers, how they had fought each other for many years, and he's, again, I'm trying to distract him so they can get past him. So that way we don't have to do this all over again. And if it backfires, he's already prepared for
How
that.
tall is the fence that's to our right?
The fence to your right is probably about maybe waist high. It's one of those, like normal field stone walls that's kind of stacked up. On the other side of it, though, is like a swirling gray fog.
Oh. Okay. That takes out my main idea outside of literally just running.
Yeah, this is what he's trying to do.
Because I'm assuming through that fog, I don't see like any sort of wildlife.
No, it's hard to see through the fog.
All right, I'm assuming the same is for the
correct. On the other side, there is also, once you get past that little bridge, it's kind of like extremely foggy.
Mhm. I'm no halfling. I can't stealth past
I'm
nothing.
no halfling.
Uh, not to mention, we have someone else who is 6 feet tall behind me, who I'm unaware of how stealthy they
Vin,
are.
your other Dragonborn companion up here is trying to sell a parable in place of a living or now dead sacrifice to a servant of the Lord of Death. What do you got going on?
Vin is kind of oblivious to what Thakran is doing, actually. She is unaware that this is a distraction.
Right. Well,
As
no,
of
I
right
get that part.
She's kind of patiently just like waiting in line for her opportunity to give a sacrifice. She has a story planned.
Okay. Thyron, you're looking behind you, and like neither of them are catching on or are interested in a sneaking by, while you're just continually trying to spin a yarn. And you can see that this figure is patiently waiting for the part where you offer him a dead thing. Or more specifically, a thing that was once living but is no longer.
As he like demonstrates and tells this story, he says that like the brothers end up fighting and then one of them dies and he like crushes the berry in his hand and leaves it there. What he's trying to do. Sees back there. Okay, they're not buying it. All right. I don't know what to do
The lone figure seems unfazed by your berry display.
because he's getting ready to probably attack him.
I mean, that's fine. You're more than welcome to do that.
That's his next motive. Like his next form of attack. He's like, all right, fine. That didn't convince you, obviously. And he kind of like wipes off berry. I don't have anything necessarily dead that I can hand you that is physically dead.
Then you must turn back. You cannot afford this path.
I'm just gonna attack him.
Okay, that's fine. Let us move to the combat round.
Oh boy.
You seem just like, oh, thank the stars. I was so tired of this.
He looked over, saw it wasn't happening, looks over at oh shoot. He looks at Dursim and just sees the annoyed face, looks at Elbraz for like confirmation of this is what I'm doing.
Alright, John, I selected all of you and then toggled combat. Is something... Did I not toggle the right combat? I hit the cross swords.
I don't think you did.
Do I need to...
What is the correct answer?
Give me a second. That's why I literally just opened.
Oh, wait, here. I fixed it.
There we go.
Not seeing anything. Oh, there we go. Wait, what? Give me a second.
Damn, I rolled like that.
Oh, wow. I'm last. No, I'm not somehow.
Yeah, I know.
Is it my surprise round to attack him?
Entirely sure why some of you don't have full hit points.
It didn't heal us after our test run.
Oh, okay. There you go. You're
I was
healed
about to say,
now.
everyone aside from, well, yeah, just set your HP to max.
So I need to attack him.
Well, that's the thing. You go to attack him, but he seems prepared for that. eventuality and goes first. So as you kind of raise your weapon in one hand to attack him, he. Why can I not? Oh, need my little combat HUD. There we go. Did I do that right? There we go. He brings his axe down on you and actually does a little bit of damage, even through your defenses.
Mhm. Well, okay then.
Vin, that happens. It is your turn.
All right. So Vin is going to probably move just a few feet to get a nice just like nice viewpoint for the Deathless Rider and cast Eldritch Blast. Target him. Yes.
Ooh. Did you click on the Deathless Rider?
I did, yeah.
Okay. Okay, there it goes. Haha. I like the animations. All right, he takes a little bit of damage from your blast. Elrovis.
Well, I'm at
Combat has
this.
broken out.
Not the way I was hoping it would either. But I've been kind of getting ready for it. I've got my bow ready, drawn, and I shall go ahead and fire. Somehow that missed, but fortunately I can.
He's rather armored. A roll of 17 does not connect with his armor class.
Fortunately, I can do that again, and I'm missing yet again.
That's lower.
Hopefully, that served as a distraction.
Dear Sim.
All right. So I'm going to make sure I'm doing the right amount of movement. Gonna go about, because that's 35 feet. Yeah, so I'm gonna go there once I actually move my character. I am going to use Flurry of Blows and also. Oh wait, no, I have to move here if I'm going to do that. And I'm also going to use Hand of Healing, replacing one of those attacks. So I'm going to do 3 attacks and then poke my friend for a bit of healing.
Okay.
But it features punch. How's it? That's
19 connects.
Cool. All right. Attack number 2.
No. That hits armor. When you actually, something you do notice when you punch what you thought wasn't armor, because you caught, like, you can see where like the chain or the scale mail kind of ends when you're trying to do your monk punches, and like you punch him in like the fleshy bit, and it feels like you're punching stone.
Fun.
Something has enchanted him to make him a little harder to hurt.
Gotcha. All right. Well, then I followed up with the other.
Because that's not how normal flesh feels.
Yeah. And I'm going to do a Hand of Healing. I will consume a resource. You get healed for 8.
Yay!
Hey, that's how much I dealt you.
Yay!
Cool. Yep.
All right. Thakrin, you're up.
All right. It's gonna go straight up smackaroonie.
Your first attack was roughly like rebuffed by his axe, but now you've kind of collected yourself and come in for like a real swing.
Why not? We'll burn one.
You smite him. Oh, jeez.
Yep.
All right.
Let's see. It's only first level.
That's fine. Just out of curiosity, what's the visual on a Dragonborn Divine Smite?
So trying to think of how I actually thought about this all the way here. So how it would work is that he kind of like uses his breath weapon almost as it gets attached into like the flail, almost like channeling the energy into it, the radiant energy, and smacks into it. So it's like a
Okay.
radiant burst that hits it.
All right. Give me 1 second to make a note here real quick.
I was gonna say, did it already do that damage? It
No, you're
looks
fine.
like it did.
You're fine.
Okay. Because I rolled it again and I was like, oops.
We're good. And so that happened. Kitten.
And
Oh,
okay.
you still have something you're
I was
doing?
gonna say
Sorry.
we have 10 foot of rope.
You do have 10
So
feet of rope.
he moves that way.
Okay.
Well, yeah, well, hang on. He smacks, and then he's trying to lead her away. That's what he would do. He's trying to protect her. Oh, he's trying to protect the owlbear.
All right.
Anyways,
Well,
yeah,
if you
that's what
move
he
there, he will use his reaction to swing at you.
does. Oh, hang on.
For that
We'll
leaves
just leave
his
it right
threatened
there.
space. Okay.
We'll just leave it right there. I mean,
All
I'm
right.
fine with either one, but he'll leave it right there.
Okay. Making it Kitten's turn. Kitten is bothered by this entire display and would like to not be where she currently is. Where she currently would like to be is north. She would like to do that into the fog. And because the rope is only 10 feet long, Thakran, you have two choices. You can make a strength saving throw to kind of versus her strength athletics to see how this goes, or you can let go of the rope.
No, he's holding on to it. He's stubborn. So it's a strength saving throw.
Good.
Come on, let's go.
Oh.
Oh, come on!
So you decide to go with her.
He's being dragged.
Not that you meant to.
So he gets an attack of opportunity, right?
He does, yes.
Yeah, so that's what I thought. I'm fine with that. I just figured that's what it was. He gets dragged away. No!
It connects.
No?
Or I rolled a 20. Oh, it misses. Your armor class is 20. Haha.
Yeah.
So anyway, you go that way and slam into the wall. And that's about the only thing keeping you from, or keeping Kitten from going any further, is that you've kind of like sandwiched yourself over this stone wall.
He's obviously going to like grunt in pain.
Christ. Not supposed to do that.
The slamming into the wall at owlbear speed deals you 2 more points of damage, which I will deduct here. As you just kind of slam right into the stone.
Yep. It's like, boom! Oh!
The rider, having lost that target, why won't it untarget Thakran?
Alt left click them again.
Ah, there we go. Haha. Swings his axe at you, Dersim.
Yeah, it's a hit. Wait.
Great.
None of those work. Ow.
Sorry.
So do I
Where's
need?
the meat shield when you need one?
All right. That's all he's got. It is now Vin's turn.
Then murder.
Is he small enough to cast Hold Person on?
He is a humanoid, like normal humanoid shape. He is a person of medium size.
All right, awesome. I
He
shall
can he
do
can
that
be
then.
held like any other person.
All right, I shall be doing that then. Oh, it says I have no available spell slots.
How
Remember that
many are
part
you?
where we didn't heal and rest
Oh, you
after
didn't
that
do
test
the
run?
long rest part. Where's the long
Yeah,
rest
yeah. You should
button?
have one because you've only used your what's it called? Uh, Phantasmal Force today.
Yeah.
So just go into your sheet and where it says Pack Magic, just set one your on that line. It's like Pack Magic dash third level where it says 0/2. Just put a 1 in the 0 slot and then close it out and open it again, or close it out and try and cast the spell again.
All right. I am actually not seeing where Pact Magic is.
Spellbook.
Spellbook.
Scroll down.
Oh,
There it
okay.
is.
Yeah.
1. There we go.
Yep, and just recast it.
All right, cast spell.
I am now held.
Oh, you love to see it.
I rolled really bad.
Oh,
Yeah.
all those people that have a billion attacks are very happy now.
Elrovis.
Well, he's not moving anymore.
He's not. He is now magically held in place.
Then
It
I
even has a
don't.
little effect if you'll look.
I see it. It
Yeah.
looks awesome.
Then I don't need to be doing this at range anymore. As I pull out one of the short swords and have fun.
Oh, you have extended crit?
Nice.
As you are wailing on this guy, you do notice that every time you hit where armor isn't, your swords are kind of like basically scraping against his skin, but you aren't like actually cutting him. He does look kind of beat up, but he's not like taking lethal damage.
Huh. Well, that's I tried a couple times there.
Okay.
I believe
There's him.
that's-
Yeah, I'm gonna flurry of blows again, and I'm just gonna spend all of them on the punching. Punch. Wow.
Oh,
That was
Punch.
a bunch of
that's a
not
good
working.
one.
There we go.
Oh, that's well, only if it mattered. Because when I crit, I give because of a crusher, attack rolls against that creature are made with advantage until the start of my next turn. So even if he somehow gets out,
Fair enough.
Uh,
Thakrin, or no, we're still doing your punching.
yep.
Yeah, he's still punching.
Oh my god, this
another 20?
these punches just keep going.
Another 16.
You've been a monk before. You understand.
I have been a monk before. I do understand. They just don't stop. All these punches.
All right, and hey,
That last punch of yours, basically like punches right through the skull mask, and all you see as the mask kind of falls away and the helmet kind of like falls off is this like white-haired, like wild-eyed, like hobo face staring back at you.
Did
Yeah.
it work?
Uh,
I mean, he's still
Like-
alive and held. He's not going anywhere.
yeah, I'm gonna move over here. He's
Okay.
held and sucks to suck, man. Uh,
Everyone just walks past him as being held.
honestly, it's probably what we should do.
Yeah.
Anyway, Thrakren, you have a problem, and it's that your owlbear is on the other side of the wall in the weird mist, and you are on this side of the wall, and it feels like the owlbear is trying to pull you through the stone currently.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Like, oh, come on, kitten. It's fine. I got you. Please stop trying to push me through the gate.
Need a
Fence.
need a strength athletics roll.
Come on. Stop. You'll be okay.
Oh.
God, fucking dice! God!
That's
You're really good at strength.
Ah!
that's not the
I
right
can't plus
answer.
I
You
think
can,
those dice need to
so
go to dice jail.
in this tug of war, the rope is actually slipping from you're like at the last end of the rope, like digging into it with your clawed hands, doing your best not to lose it.
I'm so mad at this dice. I
you can
can't
see-
switch the dice.
You can see like half the rope is frayed from
Or
where
change
your
the
like
design, see if that
draconic
changes
claws like sliced through it all the way down.
And even though he's like a silver dragonborn, his knuckles are like white from
Yeah.
all of it. But he
Uh,
will, if it's his move, knowing that it's going to slip out, he's at least going to go on the other side of the fence to keep an eye on her.
Will you now?
I mean, he's not going to hop over. It's very clearly he's going to use her momentum to throw him over.
I don't think that's what he was referring to.
Oh, yeah.
There's a strange fog on the other side of that fence that your owlbear is currently in, and you are not.
I mean, he's against a fence.
You're right.
So he knows.
No, but
through
you're not
the
over there
momentum.
yet.
Yeah, but through her pulling.
Remember that scene in Stardust when they jump over the stone fence? No.
No, I haven't seen the movie.
I have. I know what he's talking about. However, it's just that whole thing of I know that he would do that.
But no, go ahead. Whatever you want. I'm here to help you.
He's essentially just flinging himself over. He's not even trying to be dexterous.
All right. So
about it.
Dersim, your dragonborn friend gets right up and leaps right over the wall into the fog. You lose sight of them.
Well, he was just about to help, but now we literally can't.
Sorry.
It's Kitten's turn. Kitten's gonna do a thing. Give me a moment.
There we go. I've untargeted him.
Kitten, roll the 1. Once you get over to the other side of the fence, the owlbear seems to become a lot more manageable. Like, you're not being drug around nearly as much as you thought you would be.
Right.
That's not ominous.
It's,
In fact, the rope's kind of slack. But we'll get to that here later. The Deathless Rider is still doing his thing. Failed to save. He's going to stay right where he is. Vin!
I'm gonna start making my way over here to where Thokran was last, and probably cast another Eldritch Blast at the
Okay.
Deathless Rider.
Oh. He goes down. He's your magic.
Blam!
Your blast. Hits your magic that's already holding him. And blasts him effectively to the ground, where he's just laying there, in like a weird daze.
Also, real quick, because I think we forgot about it last time, Lynn, remind yourself that you get 2 of those blasts a turn.
Oh, that's
Oh yes,
right.
because you're level 5. You get double the raise.
So if he wasn't dead, he would be soon.
Yes.
So I'm curious, how does he look blasted apart now that he's still under the hold spell?
I mean, he looks. Like I said, none of your attacks or weapons or magics have pierced his skin. But it looks like you have like beat him senseless, and he's kind of like laying there in a daze on the ground. There seems to be another shimmering magic that is underneath the hold spell.
Mm-hmm. Are we out of combat?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm going to suggest for Vin to investigate whatever the heck was going on with that crazy thing while looks like me and Elrovis look for a friend who disappeared.
How would you like to do that?
I'm going to walk a bit back and forth around the wall, see if there's anything weird, like anything like I can figure out before just going, God damn it, why did you go over there? Ah! And then jump over himself.
Okay.
Look.
Boop. You also disappear. Oh, wait, no, sorry. Wrong one. Elrovis does not disappear into the fog. Derseem disappears into the fog.
But Vin thinks Dursim's idea is pretty good, and they'll start checking out the Deathless Rider.
Okay. What specifically do you want to know?
I'm kind of curious if there's like, if I could roll like an Arcana check for like to see if there's like any magic like around him.
Sure. That's easily determined with an Arcana check.
All right, I will.
We're really good at fighting, not much else.
This is
I
true.
guess. There is definitely some kind of additional layer of enchantment that has been placed on him, and you think it is protecting him physically in some way, but you're not familiar with the kind of magic that's been used.
Okay. Could I? So, what is like the color of his skin? You mentioned like it being kind of.
No. His skin is the color of skin, but if you
Okay.
touch it, and now that you're close and you're like examining it, touching the skin feels like you're touching stone, but it's actually the enchantment, like a thin layer of enchantment that you're touching, not him specifically.
Okay.
He seems to have some kind of enchanted force field of some kind, keeping him from taking mortal wounds.
Not sure what to do with that
But
yet.
he's definitely like effectively unconscious at the moment.
Fair enough. Does he have like any items on him? Does he have like any loot that would be useful?
Um,
Might be
sure, why
worth
not?
just throwing. Well, I'm
Roll
not around
me
and you can't
roll
see
me a
me.
d12.
D12.
Now roll me a d12 or a d100.
I see what you're doing.
Oh my.
52. As you're kind of digging through his pockets, you find a lovingly crafted wand made from ivory and finely carved sequoia wood. It clearly held some great power at one point, but it is cracked, and the gemstone on the end is faded, which implies that the magic inside of it has been lost.
I'll take that. It might be useful later on.
Okay. That is what you find of note, unless you want like a old rusty axe. Looking at his gear, it's pretty shabby. Like the scale mail that he's got has like rusty bits on it, and is like missing some scales in places. The helmet that he had has been shattered by your friend's fist earlier. The cloak is like really shabby and looks kind of like a hobo cloak.
Fair enough. Yeah, I didn't find anything
You
useful.
feel like you beat up an enchanted homeless man.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Isn't that what all cultists are?
But yeah, that's what you have come to. Elrovis, while that inspection is happening, what are you doing to locate your friends who have disappeared into the fog on the other side of the wall?
I've been kind of trying to see, like, and call out, Valkyrin, kitten. I look over, look back in the fog. Dear Seam! Pick up some rubble or something from the road and kind of just throw it in to see if I even hear a sound from it when it, or maybe accidentally
I thought you were gonna say I
tag
throw
one
it
of
in
them.
and you hit their seam. I'm like,
Yeah, right in the
Hey,
face.
Yeah.
hey, I throw it in, but not with intent to harm. Not,
just
so
just a light toss.
I toss it
not
in, but
intent, but
not.
it happens anyways.
Hey,
the,
we can heal that eye.
the fog causes it to
I can
move at
heal that
bullet
eye.
speed. No, you do not get any real response currently. Those of you inside the fog, uh, you hear Elrovis calling to you from deeper within the fog.
I'm assuming I see the other two hanging out in the fog now, right?
Um, you do not.
Oh.
You can hear. You can hear them around you, but you cannot see them.
All right. With that, I'm going to use like kind of an idea of which direction I just hopped from, and I'm going to try and head back the way I came.
After a few steps that direction, you think you should have hit a wall by now, but you did not.
Why didn't you just hold on to the rope? Well, with that, I'm gonna start heading towards Elrovis's voice and see where it takes me.
Okay. Thrakren, what is your strategy now that you are here? Slacked rope. You hear Elrovis calling to you from further ahead of where you are.
Oh, am I with Kitten?
You're gonna kind of pull the rope,
Yeah.
or move close.
Like,
You
yeah,
pull
gently tug it.
you tug at the
Because
rope
I know it's
until
frayed.
you reel in enough of it that it gives a tug, and you find yourself much closer to Kitten than you thought you would be.
It's like, boom. Oh,
Kitten kind of coos at you when you when you bump into her.
Sorry. He'll kind of try to. Can I just see her?
You can't see her really at all. Like, you have to be basically like right on top of her to see her.
But yeah, that's what I mean.
Like, you have to
So I
literally
can't
be
see her.
touching her to see her in this fog.
Yeah. He. So the first response is gonna be like, I can't see anything. I have kitten, but I can't see anything in front of me. This fog is really thick. And he's like yelling that.
Dirsim, you hear that behind you as you're walking toward Elrovis's voice.
And what direction am I hearing that from?
Elrovis's voice is ahead of you.
Mm-hmm.
Thrakran is behind you.
All right. I'm gonna keep heading towards Thakran.
So you're going to turn around away from
Elrovis. I'm sorry.
Elrovis? Okay. Are you responding at all to Thrakran or no?
Not at the moment.
Okay. In that case, Thrakran, what is your... No one seems to be responding to you in the fog.
Well, walked forward. So, facing straight ahead. So he's literally right next. He's going to be on Kitten's left side.
Okay.
And he will kind of encourage her to turn around, like when I walked up into her, did I walk into her side, her front, her back?
One of the sides.
Okay, so I would be technically running into her left side. So I'm gonna make it where I've turned 180. Like soldier turn essentially 180 and try to lure her back that direction.
So back the way you came previously?
That's why I'm assuming. That's
Okay.
what he's assuming, but he may not
sure.
know that he's going that
You
direction.
continue that for a while, and you think you should have hit a wall by now, but you are not at a wall.
And he's trying to comfort her at the same time. And, yeah. And then he's be like, I'm kind of lost. Anybody out there?
There seem... About this point, you come out of this side of the trail. Behind you, the fog. This is not the side you entered on, but you're here now.
I look around like, oh Lord, I thought I was done with Fey magic. Like just audible enough that both of you can definitely hear me.
I'll turn into that like.
Finn is kind of surprised that you ended up behind her. She's just like, oh, how'd you do that?
I don't know. Fey magic. He wiggles his fingers.
You keep blaming it on the Fae. Always the Fae.
Yeah, it's almost like you and me know exactly what they do.
Oh, yeah. Wouldn't know anything about what they do. So...
Alright. With that,
I'm
gonna be...
Question. Did you hear me yelling for you?
Yeah, I did. You are somehow what got me through this. He looks somehow confused through his mask. And he's gonna just start doing the same calling that Owlbear is saying. Just follow this voice.
I'm gonna use my thaumaturgy to increase the volume of my voice, just to make sure they can hear me. Follow my voice, walk this direction.
Thagran, you hear those things.
He will try to follow that direction.
Okay.
Just go, okay.
It is a bit of walking, but you eventually pop out of this tree line.
Oh,
Are you kidding me?
Oh,
He says audibly.
that
Okay, so you might be right about the Fey magic.
Really
What?
now?
he'll walk in where you guys go. Okay, so maybe you're right about the Fey magic. What?
It's
And
fine.
then,
Don't worry. You're a pretty scaly head.
Oh well, thank you, dear. I appreciate you. This is why you're one of my close friends. And he
One of these
proceeds.
days, he'll understand what I mean.
He proceeds to then start. Uh, he will start luring her over here to follow the
All
trail.
right. Let's keep moving.
yep.
Lord knows how much time we wasted here.
I know exactly how much time you wasted here. But
Like he'll
all
also
right.
be like, by the way, as we're walking, does anybody have mending?
He looks. He holds up the rope. It's just like stripped from like halfway down of just shreds.
I
I
don't.
mean, no, but we got different rope we could use.
I mean, I guess that's fair. I just don't know how strong it will hold up to how long this is held up for. But
About 5 feet of this 10-foot rope is kind of frayed.
Yeah, Derseem's definitely gonna offer up like his set of rope and just try and like add that on to it, give him an extra layer of rope.
Oh, I forget. There seem you okay? You got a good thwack in there.
I'm fine for now.
You sure? I can.
We've all been through worse.
Okay. I mean, if you want me to, heal a bit, I can do that. But
On a
if you
scale
want
of
me to
1
hold
to
off,
38, he's at a 25. He's fine.
okay. I'll hold off on that then. But if you need something, just let us know.
Brockrin is also fine.
Vin is doing great. Did not get
I
touched at all.
wonder why.
Vince is having the time of their lives.
I will simply be over here while my friends beat up a person I have stalled.
It's like,
First
I got a new
arcane
wand.
Problems.
Just picks it up. I got a new wand, guys.
All right. Well, we're moving on.
Yep.
Okay. Well, with that moving on, we will bring us to the close for the evening. You've completed 2 of the challenges before you. Let me do a quick bookkeeping here to see how the other teams turned out. And that will allow me to know where I am sticking them next. Oh, okay.
I don't like that.
That's just to determine what kind of challenge they had to deal with.
That's the one I don't like.
Yeah, the natural 20 is not a great roll for you guys.
It's fine if we lose.
Oh, no. That team's having some issues. But I'll work that out later. All right. But anyway, so yeah, that will bring us to the end of this section of the Owlbear run for the evening. Those of you at home or watching this later on YouTube, thanks for hanging out with us. And if by chance you are interested and or like what we do and would like to see more of it, possibly even better versions of it, feel free to like and or subscribe, as they say. If you have a Twitch Prime subscription or an Amazon Prime subscription, which gets you the Twitch Prime subscription for free, and don't happen to be using it, feel free to send it our way. Otherwise, if you want to come hang out with us on the Discord, we like to chat with people about all of our fun adventures, and or you can make up fun ideas of what may happen next. Or I don't know, I may start a betting parlor for Owlbear Racing, depending on if
And you
there's
can see all
interest.
the dumb gifts I post every 10 minutes.
You can also see those things. But otherwise, thank you all for hanging out with us this evening. We will continue the adventure again next week, same time, same channel. We will be here as expected. So we will see you all later. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.